Okay, we're back with another vintage martial arts video game package here. What could it be? Let's check it out. Double Dragon. Another cassette game. Double Dragon, this time for the Amstrad. Nice. Nice. Double Dragon. Good condition for an old cassette case. Take a look at the artwork. So what we've got here is the typical NES Double Dragon artwork. This was the artwork that was on the box to the Nintendo version, Nintendo 8-bit version. But you'll notice one thing: the dragons are missing from the back of the logo. So I'm not sure why that is. Check out the screenshots. The iconic red car. Apparently the same red car from Road Blasters. Because it was the same creator, same designer that was involved in this game. So yeah, the Amstrad version. Personally, I've never played the Amstrad version before. I originally owned the Sega Master System version, and I loved that game. I really did. I've tried to get hold of an old copy of the Sega Master System version of Double Dragon, but alas, it's out of my price range. Or I stumble onto buyers who just don't want to part with it, or yeah, they want to sell it for a lot more than what it's worth. Don't even think about trying to get an NES version, Double Dragon 1 or Double Dragon 2, because yeah, that's a lot of money. But yeah, I always liked this artwork, always found it interesting. Very Karate Kid-like as well. If you have a look at it for a while, you know, even the little fight scene that's happening down here with the way the gate is at the back. It always reminded me of the scene when Johnny and his buddies were dressed up as skeletons beating up Daniel LaRusso. Originally released in, I think, 1987 by Technos in Japan. Yoshihisa Kishimoto, I believe, was the guy that was involved in bringing this baby out. Anyway, I hope I said that right. Yeah, it was pretty much ported to every system that you could think of at the time. It was a very popular arcade game, and it was one of the very first scrolling beat-em-ups where you could literally walk up and down the screen. The software behind it, especially the arcade version, wasn't up to scratch. As soon as more than 2 characters came on screen, the game started to slow down. This was also present in, I believe, the hardware for the Nintendo version. That's why you never see more than 2 bad guys on the screen at once. It was because the system hardware wasn't set up in a way that it was going to handle it correctly. And also, you didn't have the 2-player feature in the NES version, so you had to play by yourself, even though it was called Double Dragon. Of course, Double Dragon influenced a lot of other games to come. Your Final Fights, Streets of Rage. This was one of the first big boys in terms of martial arts video games. A number of sequels and a number of different spin-offs and things like that. Double Dragon 1, 2, 3, Double Dragon 3. The NES version and the arcade or Sega Mega Drive versions were very different to each other. I think that was the very first game especially the arcade game, the very first to actually charge you, you had to pay to get extra features in a game. So that was way ahead of its time. We know how that worked out now, these days, with the way gaming is. Alright, a quick update to our video here, seeing as we're talking about Double Dragon 3. This is obviously filmed at a different time, so we're going to seamlessly put this in using editing. So we'll use our same t-shirt here, see if you can spot the differences. Ooh. Alright, so here we go. Now clearly we know what this is going to be. Let's have a look. Okay, so this is going to be some old school ex-rental video shop stuff. Here we go. Alright, bubble wrap. Something that you don't get a lot of these days. Ooh. Okay, here is our copy of Double Dragon 3. Oh man, Double Dragon 3 on the NES, on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now I think this is the first NES game that we've featured on here. The reason behind that is the NES games were always so expensive back in the day. They're still freaking expensive now that they're secondhand. The problem with NES games was that they were kept in a cardboard box. Now the cardboard box doesn't really last all that long. Now what you can see here is, as was common with video stores at the time, obviously you can't rent out a cardboard box, so what they do is they cut the box and put it in a VHS case, or possibly a Nintendo related case here. So the cover here has been preserved, thankfully. Great, which is great. Double Dragon 3. Very nice. Looks very nice so far. We've got our usual video rental stickers. What do we got here? Star Channel. So Star Channel is obviously the video store in question where this has come from. Now looking at the cover here, this is in great condition considering the age of this thing as well. It's not easy to find something like this that hasn't been torn to shreds, which is great. I was always a big fan of Double Dragon 3's artwork. I mean, just look at it. There's so much going on in this picture. We'll look at it again later in a minute. But yeah, that's cool, man. Alright, that Double Dragon 3. I remember at the time on TV back in, I think it's 91. Let's have a look. 1990 it says here. I thought it was 91. Okay, back in 1990, I guess, there was a TV commercial by Metro Games. At the time, I had a radio-controlled car called the Jet Hopper, and that was a big staple in the 80s. And I remember it was by Metro, and these things were terrible. And you put 4 batteries in the damn thing, it would last for about 5 minutes, and then that was it. Back to the subject at hand. Yeah, Metro. So Metro had commercials on Australian TV at the time, and one of them was Double Dragon 3. They played it like every 5 minutes, and that was really exciting. The NES, man, that thing was expensive, and the games were so expensive. Alright, let's open it up, let's have a look inside. Alright. Okay. Alright, there is our NES cartridge. Now we haven't had one of these on the channel yet. Copyright 1985. 1985. Alright, so that was our basic NES cartridge at the time. Now, very different in appearance to the Famicom cartridge, which is how it would have looked if it was released in Japan. I always found the shape of these cartridges to be very interesting, very nice, very pleasing to the eye when you looked at them. You had your title at the top there. There's that cartridge there, let's have a look. That looks alright. Good condition, good condition. And you had your big sticker with your beautiful artwork there. And as you can see here, we've got our video rental stickers. And this one here, Star Channel. We'll use the hairdryer later, see if we can get that one off. But these were obviously kept here for a reason. They didn't want people renting these and then taking them apart. I don't think that anybody ever checked when they returned them. What have we got here? We have got, I don't know where this is obviously glued on here. I don't know where this would have come from, whether it was the booklet. Sadly no booklet, that's cool, doesn't matter. The artwork is good, looks good. Check this out. Oh, what's this? Look at this. Okay, something I guess that was very generic to that video store. Double Dragon 3. Oh, printed in Canada. I don't know where this label would have come from. Interesting. Okay. Okay, and this is a specific video game case. So here you put your Super Nintendo games, your Sega games, and your NES games, which don't fit anywhere. Oh no, there they go. They fit there. Very cool. Okay, I've never seen one of these. I've never had one of these. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. Okay, so this is the original cardboard box that the game came in, but obviously cut to fit the casing, and that's cool because being in the casing, it hasn't been destroyed after all these years. Now I'll see what I can do about removing these later on. For now, it doesn't matter. But yeah, look at that. Look at that. That is 1990s martial arts video games / movies personified in a picture. I mean, just have a look at this. All right, let's have a closer look. Okay, Double Dragon 3. Now the artwork, it's just beautiful. There's so much going on here. And have a look here. We've got a Billy or Jimmy fighting a ninja. Can't go wrong there. It's 1991, 1990. You can't go wrong with having dudes fighting ninjas. You know, it's like a montage in a painting. You know, we've got ninjas in the background, we've got other supporting characters fighting bad guys. Have a good look at the background as well, at like the, you know, got a dude doing, you know, Jimmy or Billy doing a flying kick here in awesome 1990s action style. What else? Up here we've got a temple in the background here, we've got fire going, we've got guys jumping from rooftops, and there's just so much going on. This is just a great, great cover. Now, in comparison to other Double Dragon 3 covers, there's one really terrible one. Which one? This one. Oh my god, look at this. This is terrible. And then you've got the arcade version on the Sega Mega Drive or Genesis, and that's a pretty cool cover, but doesn't compare to this one. And of course, we've got our little screenshots on the back. And that's good. That's cool. Very happy with that. Okay, like I said before, the game was released in 1990. Now, it was a parallel port to the arcade version. So this version, the NES version, was called Double Dragon 3, The Sacred Stones. Now, the arcade version, if I'm not mistaken, was called Double Dragon 3, The Rosetta Stone. Both games, this version and the arcade version, are very similar, but completely different games. I think the arcade / Mega Drive version are a little bit easier to play. This game, the NES version, is incredibly difficult. You're given one life. Once that life is over, it's game over. The controls are so difficult and awkward that the game is not easy to play. Something else of note was that the original guys that were involved in making the first two games weren't involved in Double Dragon 3, from what I believe. That's clearly evident in the way the gameplay style changed. Now, going back to when I first experienced this game, 1990 or 91, obviously I'd rented this thing from the local video store. I couldn't wait to play this. Playing the original Double Dragon, I used to make up stories in my mind about what was going on in your typical B-movie martial arts fashion. And this game, much like Double Dragon 2, had story segments in between. And this thing, when you put it on, apart from the spelling mistake in the intro, once you start playing it, it starts playing out like a movie. This just made me super excited. Like I said, it starts off just like your typical B-movie martial arts film of the time. You know, one of your students has been hurt by the bad guys, you come in, what's happened? And then two other bad guys come in, you proceed to beat the crap out of them, and then the first stage starts. Really nice intro. The shock to the system is, once you start playing, within a few minutes, you see this screen. Game over. This leaves you wondering, why have I only got one life? And why are the controls so awkward? So, after a few games, you start figuring out kind of spam moves in which you can actually proceed to later stages. Now, as with other games of the time, the thing that really appealed to me was the background music. And I remember holding up my little one-speaker cassette player, recording the music from this game. And it was great music. It suited every stage that you were on, whether you were in China or Japan, Italy, Egypt. Sadly, the storyline takes a really weird twist. The second half of the game starts getting a little bit funky, especially with the arcade version and or the Sega Mega Drive version. You end up fighting a supernatural sort of boss at the end. I think in an Egyptian temple. Things just get batshit crazy, and it's kind of a downer because the Double Dragon games up to this point, although did dabble into mystical things here and there, they were pretty grounded in terms of realism. Well, this one just goes off the scales, unfortunately. But you know, who can hold that against them? Let's put this back. Yeah, click, click. Look at that. Beautiful. Double Dragon 3. Very cool. Very happy with that. Very nice. Ooh. So let's put this sweet piece back. There you have it, Double Dragon. Finally got myself a copy again. It's not the same as the one that I had as a kid, but it's still a copy of Double Dragon, and I'm happy to have it. It's going straight into the collection. Again, thanks for watching.